This episode is brought to you by Dashlane. Never forget another password and keep all your credentials secure by signing up for a free account today. Back with another show for our frugal viewers who might want to know where best to get the most out of a solitary dollar. We're sure you already know that some places around the world will quickly empty your wallet if you visit there. To name a few, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And while these are some of the places with the highest prices, as we showed you in our first dollar show, you might be surprised what deals you can get in some countries not known to be cheap. Today we'll try and visit every continent. In this episode of the infographic show, What a Dollar Gets You Around the World, Part 2. We'll start our shopping spree in Europe, a continent that is home to some of the most expensive countries in the world. If you remember last time, we went shopping in Switzerland, and we had to make do with dog food as it was hard to find anything for $1. In a cost of living index that included rent, published in 2017, Switzerland was the second most expensive place behind Bermuda. The other most expensive countries in Europe were Iceland, Luxembourg, and Norway. We looked at the website Numbeo for prices in Norway. It tells us that 12 eggs in the country cost $4.41, which is about 36 cents an egg. So for your $1, you've almost got 3 eggs. Is that expensive? Well, in the USA, a dozen eggs will cost $2 to $3, so yes, it's about double the price. And we all need eggs, right? In Iceland, eggs are even more expensive at $5.75 a dozen, meaning you'll only get 2 for just under $1. Maybe they're Icelandic golden eggs. Meanwhile, over in Luxembourg, you can go omelet crazy, as you'll get 4 eggs for $1. If you want really cheap eggs, go to Ukraine, a country that's well known as a cheap holiday destination. There you will get the whole box of 12 for $1.04. In fact, prices of many things in Ukraine are cheap. For just less than $1, you can get 3 bottles of water, 3 cans of Pepsi, and a hot cappuccino in a coffee shop, plus 13 cents change. If you have some bad habits, you can get a pack of cigarettes for under $1, although Marlboro will set you back $1.24. Beer is cheap and cheerful over there, with the price for a bottle from a supermarket being under $1 and the price of a pint in the pub being around $1.50. But what if you want to spend your $1 close to a beautiful beach or some amazing natural scenery that looks like something from Game of Thrones? You head to Croatia, of course, one of the most eye-catching countries in the world, and cheap too. If you want to stay a while, you'll need to rent a place. Numbeo tells us a downtown one-bedroom apartment will cost about $360 a month. There are 730 hours in a month, so that means your $1 will pay for about 2 hours in that apartment. You could eat at home and buy a liter of milk for just less than $1 and a loaf of bread for about the same cost. You can also buy a 1.5 liter bottle of water for $1.03. So, there you go. You can live like a peasant and see this wonderful country at the same time. Let's say you want to stay near the coast but travel to Africa. In that case, your nearest African country to Croatia is Tunisia. It might also be the tip of Algeria. According to the media, this country with outstanding beaches has been quiet since the 2015 beach attack that killed 38 people. That means it's cheap. Let's say you went shopping. $1 equals 2 pounds of potatoes and 2 pounds of onions, and you get change. You could get a bus to the supermarket there and back twice for less than $1. Thirsty? No problem. You can get 4 large bottles of water for $1. But if you wanted to eat out, a meal in a local restaurant would cost you $2, so you'd have to share. A McDonald's combo meal would cost you over $3. Watching a movie at the theater would also be too much for your $1, unless they allowed you to watch a third of the movie. You could stay home and watch YouTube though, as 2 days of unlimited internet will cost you around $1. But let's say you've always wanted to go to Cape Town in South Africa. What would you get there for $1? With our $1, we went online shopping at Woolworths, taking $1 to be about 13 Rand. With our buck, we got 3 cheese puffs, and for another $1, we washed that down with a 250 milliliter bottle of fruit juice, whose 96% fruit content looked dubious. We had heard wine was cheap in South Africa, but even if you buy the cheap stuff, you'll only get a third of a liter for $1. But we then decided to check out the townships and get some of those famous deep-fried chicken feet, aka walkie-talkies. According to one blog we found, that dish will set you back anywhere from 50 cents to $1. Yum. Out of Africa, let's head over to Asia. We'll first check out Singapore, a country not known for its cheapness. Yep, we ain't getting much here for $1. Not a coffee, or a Coke, and no damned way a beer. At least we can get water for 97 cents. We can maybe get an apple or 2. We will have to walk everywhere, as no public transport is under $1, and as we are fed up, we ended up smoking again, with 2 Marlboro cigarettes costing $1. Starving, we head to Tiong Bahru food court, where, says The Guardian, we get about the cheapest noodles in the city. Thankfully, here we can get a bowl of lor mee noodles for about $2, so we'll have to share it. As for going out at night, let's go to another Asian country. What about Laos? where Western kids get wild in Vang Vieng and float down the river on inflatable tubes. Sometimes it's the last thing they ever do. For $1, you can rent a bicycle for half a day, and if you get hungry, you can try any number of local dishes served at the street side day and night. You can wash that down with some 45% proof rice whiskey. You can go to a street Lao Lao stall and get your hands on a 750 milliliter bottle for about 75 cents. One website calls this the cheapest liquor in the world. Your dollar might not go so far over in New Zealand, where you can't even get a loaf of bread for $1. According to the website Expatizen, you can at least get 2 rolls of toilet paper. You'll have to get a pack of 4 though, so maybe you could ask a stranger if you can go halvesies. In fact, nothing is cheap in Kiwiland, so we're going to fly over to Iraq. Well, here we've got 2 bus rides in town for $1, and we can afford many staples again. A loaf of bread is under $1, as is 2 pounds of oranges. We weren't so fortunate in Dubai, but we did get cheap gas at just over $1 for half a gallon. Talking about gas prices, in 2018, globalpetrolprices.com tells us that Venezuela has the cheapest gas in the world at 1 US cent per liter. Yes, you heard that right. Iran was second at 30 cents a liter, and Iceland was the most expensive at $2.10 a liter. We guess we should go check out Venezuela. It seems there is cheap everything if you don't mind a high crime rate. For under $1, you can get a coffee, a beer, a Coke, lots of water, milk, bread, and you can almost see a movie at a theater. It's $1.50, but still cheap on a global scale. And with gas prices so low, the bus rides are only 9 cents a trip inside the city, so you can get around all day for $1. You'll also find that inflation has been doing strange things to the prices of some goods here, so we are leaving. We are now in Brazil, where we can get 2 pounds of rice for 97 cents, though we can't get bread or even a soda for less than $1. Oranges are well priced for 2 pounds at just under $1, but we won't be able to catch a bus, well, for 2 cents more we can, or get the metro to the market for less than $1. Brazil is famed for its street food, but it's difficult to find the exact cost online. We found one thread on TripAdvisor though, and some people were saying you can get grilled meat on a stick for $1. It seems you can also fill up on pastels, deep fried pastries with fillings, and they won't cost you more than $1 in the street. In fact, one blogger said these snacks and similar snacks go for about 30 cents, so go crazy. You will have to stay in the street though, and you won't even be able to afford a beer from the store. Up in Canada, is it any cheaper? Canada isn't exactly famed for its cheap street food. Actually, it's pretty expensive all around, so forget wonderful curbside snacks, beer, milk, bread, a kilo of vegetables or fruit, and don't think for a minute you'll be taking public transport. And nope, you ain't even getting that water you need desperately to survive. Looks like we'll have to go online and see what Walmart has to offer. Well, it's really good to know that for less than $1 in Canada you can get a pack of 5 My Little Pony Squishy Pops capsules. Luckily, we also found thrifty foods in British Columbia, and of course we like the name. There really wasn't much going for less than $1.29 Canadian, roughly $1 US. Even the cheapest tinned juice was out of our price range. So as we did in the last show with Switzerland, we turned to our trusty pet food. And yes, we found a 100-gram tin of Caesar dog food, and get this, it was filet mignon. Aren't we posh? We'll take some of that for dinner, now only if we could afford some water. So, we still haven't covered every continent. What about Antarctica? Well, those scientists need to buy things, and so do tourists who pass through research stations. The cheapest thing we could find at Vernadsky Research Station was a shot of Ukrainian horilka, similar to vodka, and you can sip it under inflatable palm trees, according to people who have visited. The big problem we have with our budget is that it goes for $3 a shot, and that was in 2015. We may have to skip this continent, even the postcards were $2, and it was $6 to send them. If you're like us and trying to save money, or make sure that the money you have stays safe and secure, you should probably invest in a good password manager. Dashlane is a password manager that makes it easier for you to control your digital identity. Whether you're great with computers or not, Dashlane is extremely easy to use. Try Dashlane completely free for 30 days and discover how much easier your password life can be. The security of Dashlane is awesome, but the autofill is what makes it so much fun to use. You'll never have to log into another website again. Dashlane does it automatically for you. Become more secure and support the Infographics Show at the same time by using the code INFOGRAPHICS. And get 10% off Dashlane Premium from the get-go by going to dashlane.com/infographicshow or clicking the link in the description. As you all come from many places around the world, why not tell us in the comments what you can get for $1 where you live? Also, be sure to check out our other video called What $1 Gets You Around the World, Part 1. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time!